So there are the Cascades in the distance there, quite snowy. And this is a burned over area, big fire, I forget the name of it. There's the wee KLR, doing good. I'm kind of scaring myself with all this stuff. And I think we've kind of run into the end of our road up here probably with this snow, because Alex and Paul are following me in a two-wheel drive Toyota pickup. And yeah, I don't think they'll be able to make it through there. So, and we're going up to a lookout, the Tyee Lookout, in outside of basically Antioch, Washington. So here's our road disappearing into a snowbank, and then that's a pretty extensive snowbank, and then it reappears going up the hill over there. And then the lookout, I don't know if this camera can resolve it sufficiently, but the lookout is up there. We might walk, I'm kind of doubting it, but we'll see. See what the guys feel like. There's some glacier lilies right alongside the road. Really beautiful. I'm sure this was a snowbank a week ago. And here come Paul and Alex down there. Yeah, this is the end of the road for us. So this is looking east from up here on this Tyee Lookout Road. And that is the Waterville Plateau over there in the Columbia River, down in that valley, and then the big wheat country is over there. And you can see all the fire from this last year over on that far hillside. So sometimes it's hard to tell which is easier, going up or coming down. I think generally coming down is easier. But, you know, there are like stretches like that you just have to kind of pick your way. And if you keep the power on going up, you're okay. But it can be a challenge. So here's some of the fire devastation lower down. It really did a job on this forest. I could see why they fenced it off, because it would be too much of a temptation to be out on the edge. Oh my goodness. So there's the little KLR 650 Kawasaki. And we are at the White Pine Trailhead. It's like 3 miles up a jeepish road, not totally crazy road at all. But you wouldn't want to take your average sedan on it. So this is a access into the Alpine Lakes Wilderness area. So there's the trail in, a White Pine Trail. So I'm smoking what I would have thought would be a Brian Doran billiard, but it's totally unmarked. So I don't think it's his. And the rustication's a little craggier than his too, but it's a very similar kind of style. Smoking some Blackbeard's Bounty from Doug Owen at Cargo Hold. So he just started selling this in bulk. I forget what it, what it really is. But he gave me a little sample to try, so it's good, yeah. As are a lot of English Balkan blends. Spent the weekend motorcycle camping. There was a fella there from SeaTac who is a pipe smoker, and he was aware of NW pipe smoker. So I'm just not used to that, So that was fun. It's like he knew me pretty well ahead of time, and yet I knew nothing about him. So a little catch up. But he was a pipe smoker, and his experience with Englishes and Balkans was that they always tasted soapy to him. I get that. He tried this. I gave him some to try, and he said it was not as soapy, but he also commented that aromatics didn't have a lot of flavor for him, and they certainly don't for me. But I have a kind of a screwed up palate, I think. I'm not a very discerning palate. So anyway, I'm just riding back to Seattle after a nice weekend motorcycle camping and exploring. That little KLR is pretty much, I mean, it's kind of perfect. It's all a balance of how well does it do on the road, how much can it carry, how much wind protection do you have, how stable is it, and then you have the off-road component, which is first gear slogging up Jeep trails and so forth, and how well does it do at that. So it's all this compromise of things that it's kind of hard to find a good middle place. But maybe it's just my kind of riding, but it does really well. It's a little small for me. Physically, it's kind of like 7/8 scale. I'm a big guy, so. But I would hate to get anything too much heavier, or just like gargantuan, bulky. Some of those 1250 GSs are just like I don't know. Maybe riding them, they are much more, because they would have a low center of gravity, and it's kind of the standard, and they certainly would fit a big guy like me better, I think. So I may have to try one. I don't know. But I sure do like being able to just see a sign that says White Pine, 3 miles. And I've read about it. I'm kind of a ghost town explorer from my growing up days in Colorado. And gosh, every weekend, we'd be out jeeping in a little sedan, a Chevette or something up Jeep roads. Oh God, we beat that car up. But it was so much fun. And then hiking into old ghost towns, following old rail grades, exploring old mine buildings and so forth. Just great fun. And this climate up here in the Pacific Northwest is wet enough, at least on the Cascade Crest and west, that things just kind of rot away because it's so moist. But east of the mountains, there's still a lot left. And being able to ride on dirt roads just expands your riding horizons enormously. So it's a lot of fun. And I really don't think any bike I buy from here on out has to be a dual sport. Has to do both those things, dirt roads and street. And there's always the compromise of how much is street, how much is dirt. But yeah, it's just so much fun. So yeah, having a great time here. It's really quiet. I hear a river down there. That's probably the Wenatchee River, without looking at a map. Anyway, great place for a pipe smoke. Thank you, Doug, for letting me try this. I'd recommend that. It's kind of like wine to me. These tobaccos, these are non-aromatics, English Balkan mixtures. Usually they're quite good. They're not like earth-shakingly good, maybe, but they're probably a 90, 91, 92, 93 on the scale of 100. So that's pretty good, actually. Yeah, an enjoyable smoke. And it feels apropos here. I was smoking a rum and maple around the campfire, just because, you know, you're in a crowd and you kind of want to have a decent room note is the wrong word. What am I trying to come up with? Just a public pipe aroma, you know. Because English Balkans tend to smell like a pile of burning leaves, I think, in autumn. But the aromatics actually kind of perfume the room, and everybody always says, oh yeah, my grandpa smoked a pipe. I really love that smell. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, this has a nice deep bowl, kind of that chunky, short, stubby feel to it, rugged. I like it. So here's the bridge, the old Great Northern main line, now BNSF, through the Cascade Tunnel. This bridge was put in 1940. So it's not that old. I'm sure it was an improvement over one that was put in maybe at the turn of the century. Or maybe they changed the route slightly, I don't know. No trains though. Oh well.